Okay, folks, I'm going to do a verbal autobiography today here. Okay, I'm 61, going on 61 years old. I'm a musician. My name's Barry MacDonald, M.A.C. I was born in Nova Scotia in 1960. My music is basically my protest against oppression and police brutality, corruption, and mental health situations that happen to people that are victims of violence and abuse. My music's dedicated to anybody who's been a victim of any kind of violence or abuse from police especially, or child abuse, etc. I was an abused kid at 4 years old, born into the hands of an alcoholic father and two parents that didn't know how to stop having kids they couldn't bring up properly. So I'm just going to give you a basic rundown on my childhood. Was a mess. I remember at 4 years old, my father beating me with his leather belt from his pants to try to teach me that peeing, urinating outside was wrong. And I remember being taught how to swim by being thrown into a lake to drown. I remember the bubbles and coughing up water on the shore. I don't know how I survived that one. I clawed my way to the top, but somehow I remember the bubbles and stuff. So that's my father dragged me through the woods when I was a kid, thorn bushes and stuff to pick raspberries. He moved us out from Halifax from the public housing to an abandoned military base. It was a radar base. It's called the Beaverbank Radar Base. Type that in on the internet. You can type that in, the Beaverbank Radar Base, and you can see what the place looked like that I lived with. Tin shacks, basically. Duplexes. One we had was 3-bedroom, and the next door one was I think 1-bedroom. So they were all over the place. You can see the map there, or the aerial photograph on the site, the Beaverbank Radar Base. It was a good place to grow up to be a kid, but like I said, I grew up with a fucked up father. He abused me all through my childhood, burned me with a cigarette lighter, punched me in the face while I was drunk, shadow boxing with a little kid all through my childhood. So I've had pretty bad mental health problems. I had nervous breakdown when I was 16. I tried to blow my head off with a shotgun from depression at 16 years old. Started picking the guitar up at 8 years old. My brother had an acoustic guitar with a couple strings on it, so I used to fret it with the thumb. You know, I didn't know how to play, and I only had 2 strings, the low A and the low E. And my sister brought Alice Cooper record home, School's Out. It looked like a desk, you know, the wooden desk. It had a pair of pink panties wrapped around the record. And when I heard this music, I was like, wow, this is great. I was like totally into rock. All of a sudden, School's Out became one of my favorite rock songs. And then I was at 14 years old, I was at a friend's place. He got a Silvertone acoustic guitar and amplifier from Sears catalog. That's when they used to deliver, and I liked the sound of it, so I started I got myself a guitar, and my mother bought me my first guitar. The first one had a warped neck, so I didn't know any better, and I bought a guitar with a fucked up neck on it. She got me an El Degas Japanese copy of a Telecaster, and I had a sorry about the camera thing. It was a Trainer amplifier. I think they're made in Toronto. I'm not sure if there's Yorkville Sound these days. I think that's the company. But whatever the case is, I played with that, and it got stolen from a church. We shared a rehearsal space with a band called Snake Eye. They were a pretty good cover band, and they were playing all over the place. It was back in the days when people used to go to listen to live bands all the time. Halifax had an incredible music scene. There was great bands everywhere all the time. So I was wrapped up in playing the guitar. that kept me busy, and you know, tried to work every shitty job you can imagine. I cleaned carpets, I sold vacuum cleaners, I flipped burgers when I was a kid, bought myself motorcycles and stuff. I didn't have to parents buy me anything. I had to hitchhike 15 miles each way to flip burgers to buy a Gibson L6S for $500, brand new, with the case. Beautiful guitar, lost in the ponds. Depression ruined everything, my mental health. I had to quit school because of it. And then when I was 19, I got almost strangulated to death by an RCMP for pretty much fucking nothing. Dragged out the side of his car in a headlock and fucking he proceeded to strangle me from behind. He's a big motherfucker. You can see red marks around my neck for a week. I took a picture of it with the old Polaroid camera. That was back in 1979. Judge didn't give a fuck. These cops get away with doing whatever they fucking please. Fucking bastards. But anyways, I joined the military when I was 20 years old because I didn't have many options. I didn't finish high school because of a mental health problem. I had to quit. And I was actually evicted from kicked out of school when I was in grade 9 because of a mental breakdown. Principal yelled at me in the hall. I threw my fucking books at him. Piece of shit. I hate these fucking teachers, these fucking cocksuckers. Some of these people, I don't know how they got to be fucking teachers. They don't know how to fucking deal with people at all. But whatever the case is, I quit school halfway through grade 11. Proceeded to go from one shitty job to the next. I auditioned for bands and never really got anywhere. And because of the way I look, I'm a stocky guy with short brown hair. I wasn't as fat at the time. I'm 61 now, but going on 61, but I was kind of a stocky guy. And anyway, so my first music gig was '86 with a band called Jagged Edge, and they were assholes. We sounded good, playing the same 40 songs every night. Got to be a drag. Being on the road for low income, and it was an experience. I did it for a few months, and then I got kicked out of the band, and I took them to the music union and sued them for not giving me fucking proper notice and stuff. I just put a bunch of money out for a Marshall amplifier, and whatever. Just the music business is a joke. It's shit. I recorded my own CDs, basically. Just a rundown on just timeline on incidents that have experienced violence, and I'll just give you some shit things that happened to me. Police put me in prison for a $15 parking ticket in 1986. Fuck, can you believe that shit? 1989, I had an interaction with police where they came in my house and I almost killed two of them in the dark. They didn't. I beat the charges, but they put me up on assaulting police and all kinds of bullshit. The charges were all dropped. I never got any kind of compensation from their fucking, basically their, what's the word, fucking evil deed. They actually they just walk in, the landlord let them in my house, my apartment when I was in the dark sleeping with my wife. They dragged both of us out in the fucking middle of the night after they beat my head in when I was in handcuffs. They put us in cells, and I was released the next morning. The Justice of the Peace said, release this man. I was released onto the street in my underwear with a fucking concussion from the police brutality. I had to find another place to live, and then after a few months of living in a townhouse and thinking we had the good life, the motorcycle in the garage and a new car in the driveway, fucking swimming pool. I won't come home one night and the wife's gone, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck, man? This is what life's all about. Fuck this shit, man. It wasn't happiness to me to have a fucking new car or this, that, or the other thing. Too many people are wrapped up in materialism. It's more important how much you paid for your car than your health. Most people don't give a shit. But anyways, so I just played open mics most of my life, and I'd go to the jam sessions, and I tried, different times. I got another band happening. We played 2 or 3 gigs, and then it just fell apart. Just I was working. A lot of musicians are just fucking flakes, idiots. There's not too many, musicians that are actually good musicians that are dedicated, that are in it for the music. Most people are fucking idiots, just trying to fucking, get some kind of fucking pat on the back from somebody or something. Look at me, I can play the guitar, whatever bullshit, fucking ego shit. So like police brutality happened to me, and violence from bouncers in '91. They broke my jaw. The JB Show Bar in Sackville. That's been closed down for a long time. There's a triple murder suicide there. People were fucking dirtbags. It was a good bar for a while. Then, you know, like they used to go there listen to the bands and just try to have a good time. But people started turning into fucking violent assholes and pieces of shit. So, and then after the incident where I got my jaw broke out, I quit going there, of course, because the bouncers were fucking dangerous fucking thugs. I chased one of them home with a baseball bat 2 o'clock in the morning with our 5 RCMP on my back. I was gonna kill this motherfucker. You know who you are, prick. If I fucking ever find you. Broke my jaw. Ended up in the hospital, lost my job for fucking nothing, just standing there having a beer. Hard to believe that happens, but it does. They'd like to hone in on people that are drinking and fucking attacking these low-life bouncer pieces of crud cowards. But anyways, I got kicked out of the military because of PTSD. They just gave me a disability award here about 2.5 years or so ago. It's only it was 194. Sorry, it was 171,000, but I was living in a subsidized apartment, playing on the streets part time. I started selling CDs, and I played on the streets of Toronto off and on for a couple of years while I was mentally fucked in this. I was in the Nova Scotia Correctional Center for 21 months, including this. The psychiatric wing of the facility because of my mental health. Tried to break 5 ribs. Tried to kill myself in there because I was just fucking. I just gave up on life, and I was dragged off a bus for no reason by RCMP, handcuffed, dragged across the ground like a piece of meat. They ripped the skin off my clothes. I didn't break any laws, and the woman named Jill Cook that was going to Sackville, Nova Scotia Rehab Center to go to work told the cop I didn't do anything. I didn't do fuck all. The bus driver didn't want me on the bus. He told me to get off the bus. I couldn't walk. I had an injured leg. Whatever. That's what kind of fucking world I live in. So anyways, I did time in jail for assaulting a police officer in a blackout. I retaliated. I defended myself against police brutality and knocked the fucking cop's face off at his own billy club. Ended up getting 8 months in jail. Fucking left Nova Scotia in 2005. Got lured to Ontario by people that were supposed to have money, but they turned out to be losers, and ended up on the streets of Toronto, playing the guitar part-time for a couple of years. I could tell you story after story about some of the shit that I had to deal with. Like these people that run these shelters, they treated me like fucking garbage. I was kicked out in the rain for having my t-shirt hanging up in a Salvation Army shelter one night. They said, "You leave, we're gonna call the police," because I had a wet t-shirt hanging off my bed to dry. They kicked me out in the rain. That's the Salvation Army. Those are the people you're donating your money to help people that are in situations where they have nowhere to go. They're fucking scum. Salvation Army is a front for a business. It's like all these other religions. They're just these religious people, it's just a front for their business. That it's all about the money. But anyways, I started recording my music in 2007 in Toronto with a digital 8-track, and I learned how to burn them off a computer, and I started selling them on the streets. I stopped doing that about 3 years ago. I rented a garage from a guy in 1101 22nd Avenue, Northwest Calgary, and recorded my music there under suffering from severe mental health problems, etc. I can give you a rundown about what my songs are about. Okay, here is the site where my music is. You probably know about this if you heard about me or whatever. Okay. I don't know how to use a computer very good. That's the problem I'm having here. There's my site there. There's my little guitar amp over there. There's my guitars over there. I'm in a motel room. I won't tell you what motel. There's the site there. I got 2 CDs on the internet. This one here is called This World. And basically I'm just singing out against the ugliness in the world. Wasteland is basically another song singing about My life, basically, coming from I consider where I came from a wasteland. Social morons about depression. Brutals about violence, of course, that I experience. Friendly fire is basically about our society and using a military term to describe basically what's going on. People fucking each other over. Monsters, I'm just basically calling people fucking monsters. Dehumans is about fucking people that abuse others and get a kick out of other